Right, I know this game has a reputation of being brutal, but I'm ready. No. Welcome, friends. How many times have you heard something like, "You're wasting your life away playing those games"? Well, I have a game for you that is not only the equivalent of a personal trainer, but the kind of Rambo-style personal trainer that eats bowls of nails, bench presses bears, and screams at pictures of anything soft and fluffy. With that in mind, I present Cabal, a game that will not only sort out your life, but it will also remind you that any time you fail, it is always your fault. When this game was brought to arcades on the back of one of Mr. Slate's Bronto cranes, the public were in awe at the level of violence on offer, and indeed, Amnesty International called for a worldwide boycott of the game 5 years before they formed their own organisation. The plot on offer is predictably as complex as a two-piece jigsaw. It sees you play as, well, we'll call him Tristan. Tristan stands in front of an army 20 times over with a simple instruction: if it stands in front of you, wipe it out. This includes any buildings that are stupid enough to dare to resist your ferocious charge. In fact, the buildings that remain intact after you've met your smiting quota fall over by themselves rather than running the risk of irritating Tristan. The game's attract mode seems to forget to inform you of such minor details such as who you are, who you're fighting for, and whose army you're wiping out in their thousands. The rule is simple enough though: you equals good, them equals bad, get rid of anything bad until further notice. There's a good little Tristan. Now, what personal trainer would this be if it wasn't one that was aggressive enough to make a screaming army sergeant and 5 times war veteran blush? Even though your idiotic plastic army man can get knocked down by everything from a small gust of wind to an evil thought, this game will never stop trying to make you the strongest Tristan you can be. I hope you brought a wheelbarrow full of coins and a coal shovel to the arcade, because you're gonna need them. After having a chuckle at the arcade art that shows Tristan soiling himself, and having a listen to the title screen score and its demented demon frog sound, you better be ready for a thrashing of a lifetime. Oh, and make sure you don't invite a second player to help you out, you lazy cheating slacker. This is your journey and your torture to endure alone. Now get to it, maggot. You start off with a gun that can knock down a whole building or mountain, but takes 3 lots of shots to defeat one of these roly-poly arseholes. You also have grenades to amuse you with a boom sound and nothing much else. And your own version of a roly-poly button that is guaranteed to dodge bullets, until it doesn't, most of the time. The list of things to shoot is lengthy, and includes typical army vehicles, lots of expendable troops, these roly-poly arseholes, and field medics who seem to have brought a first aid kit full of grenades and a syringe full of bare testosterone to the battlefield. When you begin, it looks like your personal trainer is giving you gentle pats on the back, but just wait 30 seconds and they'll become punches to the back of the head. Oh look, they've dropped a new weapon for me, but because it took me 5 seconds to try and pick it up in between a hail of muck and bullets, poof, it's now a ghost. Well, that's because time waits for no man, maggot. Now get back to it and don't fail this time. This also happens to the grenades and the points bonuses that the game spews out on a regular basis. The only reason you take maniacal risks with your life to get these points bonuses is to simply acquire more points. There are no extra lives to be had here, bucko. If you even dare to think about losing all 3 of your lives, which you will very quickly, your reward for feeding more money into the machine is a resupply of noisy pineapples at the cost of all of your points. This means that you can spend thousands of dollars to get to the end of the game, and you'll get to register a high score of about minus 10 points. You stay alive and you endure, or you get nothing out of life, soldier. 4 mini stages later, we come to our first boss and I fell over during the fight. Now we hear the thunderous footsteps of the sergeant charging in on the back of a zeppelin, just to inform you that you take out these targets using 1 life or you start it again, and again, and again, until you run out of money, patience, or most likely your sanity. 20 stages later and a shocking amount of tinnitus in your left ear endured, due to the sergeant and his relentless gentle encouragement, you get to meet with the final boss. I think the developers found that making a human boss was far too much of a push for the already novel-like storyline and settled for 5 missile silos and a quad-barreled missile thingy instead. After many goes at this madness, and the sergeant jumping up and down like an angry monkey on fire, we finally land the killing blow, and the mountain in the background faints in shock as this military facility caves into our might. After this, we get to see Tristan aboard the helicopter, and he gets compliments from a faceless commander, halting the forces of the faceless terrorists, and tells you to return to the faceless HQ for her further faceless mission. And look, he doesn't even have a face himself! Oh, that's deep, man. Now I've survived the mission, I can see that the sergeant truly cared for me, and he just wanted me to be the best I could be. I have him to thank for the next 30 years of PTSD and therapy. While Tristan gets carted off into a padded cell, I can now get around to my final verdict. This game will instantly grab you by the balls and squeeze until way beyond the time you hear 2 loud pops. The ferocious personal improvement pushes this game gives to you will lead to an empowered life, even in your home, assuming you didn't have to sell your home to pay what you owe to the arcade owner. My final verdict is a megaphone with an air horn being blasted into each side of your head and a never don't not give up sticker stuck to the back of a sprinting cheetah out of 10. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving a like or subscribing for more idiocy such as this. Until next time, goodbye friends.